I'm finna shill in this one. What is up, guys? Technicals here. Rare is it when I get a piece of hardware that I can emphatically shill for, emphatically simp for, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Nerd Gear sent this over to me. It's their new 30 amp version 3 PDU. I mentioned in one of my videos that I wanted to upgrade my PDUs, and probably the only red flag I'm seeing from Nerd Gears is that they're actually watching my content. Other than that, they asked if I wanted to take a look at one of their new PDUs, put it in my shed, see how I like it, and do a little video on it. Said absolutely. Got this thing in. I'm glowing. I'm loving it. I'm going to take you through it. All its features, quirks, quips, and dildos, and whatever it is. It's got a lot of features on it. I'm going to take you through it. Link in the description below. I have no shame about this one. Use my link. You buy one, I get money. They didn't give me any money for this video, but they did give me the device and the affiliate code. So if you're just starting out in mining, you mine at home, and you're looking for, you know, kind of pieces of equipment to put in to deploy some of these higher powered ASIC miners, or just a whole bunch of GPU miners or CPU miners, you're going to need a PDU. You can check my other video here on how I install a 30 amp circuit. And so if you do that, it's not an instructional video because there's liabilities involved, but if you do that, or you have one installed, you're going to need a PDU to plug in to that outlet so you can run your devices. And if you're shopping around for PDUs, I highly recommend this one. All right, so going straight off of Nerd Gear's website, let's take a look. It's a 30 amp PDU, so it's going to plug into an outlet with an L6 30p connection. That's pretty standard for most 30 amp PDUs. But it's got a lot of features on this thing, which I really like. So it's got this on-off switch, so if you want to turn everything off, you can do that without just willy-nilly unplugging the PDU, which is, you know, a lot of these feature-less PDUs, you just kind of got to unplug things piecemeal and then unplug the PDU. This, you can just switch it off. It's also got a drock meter built into it, so that way you're going to be able to monitor your amps, your watts, your voltages, and things like that right on the PDU. So I know a lot of people will take like something like a meter box and install that in the junction box for their circuit, and then they'll do their monitoring on that and just have the PDU connected to it. But this integrates it all in one place. I really like that because, you know, I know it's safe, you do things safe, you do things the right way, you put a drock meter in your outlet box, but I know when I do the work, I get a little willy-nilly about it. Having this built in to the PDU and just kind of compartmentalized, and it's made that way and it comes from the factory, gives me a little bit extra peace of mind. Additionally, you've got your C1314, pretty standard for most of your most devices. You've also got the C1920s for some of these higher powered devices, or maybe you just got a C19 to some other kind of whip that you want to use. You have the options there. Additionally, they are locking, so that is a huge sort of thing for me because I'm always messing around in my farm, moving things around, and it's not uncommon for me to sort of knock something loose, or at least be concerned about knocking it loose, or vibrations and things like that, plugs that kind of just, is it really in there? Is it really stuck in there good? These are all locking, so once you get it in there, you close the tabs, it's locked in place, it's not going to move. So let's go ahead and deploy this thing and take a look at how it performs. And so should you buy this thing, I think this is probably an applicable purchase for really anybody. I mean, if you're a super ultra massive farm, you're not using PDUs anyway. You're using some kind of bespoke built-in solution on these giant racks. But if you're operating a sort of larger home operation or something in a small warehouse, or if you're just an at-home miner looking to expand and upgrade into ASICs or some more high-powered devices, or you're pushing the limits and you've got like 50, 100, 200 amps to play with, this is absolutely, I think, where you're going to want to land on a device like this, because it's got all these features built in. I know that when I structure the architecture of my farm, I like having ASICs on one leg, ASICs on another leg, CPUs on another. I don't like to mix and match and have some CPU miners plugged into the ASIC PDU and vice versa. That way I can keep the math simple in my head, because, you know, I just want, like, I know the certain amount of amp draw that certain ASICs are going to pull, and I know I want to keep that PDU or that circuit underneath a certain amount. This I find really helpful for all these salad rigs, CPU miners, GPU miners, evergreen or Chia miners, switches, you know, all the sort of associated little bitty parts that kind of, you don't really know what the voltages or wattages or amps draw on it's going to be, and you really are looking for a more precise readout of what you're getting, and that integrated DOGE meter is really helping out with that, because, you know, an ASIC, I know 3500 watts is pulling whatever 18 amps or whatever it is. I can just kind of say, well, I can only connect one more thing to this, and then I can't really connect anything else. But with this PDU, I can plug in all these sort of little tiny things and watch that number add up and know where it is with some certainty. Also think it's a good perch if, again, you're sort of just getting into mining, or you're kind of on a small operation and you've been kind of on the fence as to whether or not you want to sort of upgrade or graduate. Put in that 30 amp circuit, you know, have some dedicated space for some high powered miners, because everything's going into high-powered stuff. GPU mining, not so good. CPU mining, cool, but real bread and butter, big, honking, stinking, loud ASICs. That's where the action is. And so when you get into those, you have to have a PDU of some sort. You have to have a 240-volt circuit in order to run it if you're a residential miner. And so you're going to need some kind of PDU in order to connect those devices. And I think when it comes to the power supplies, it's not something you really want to cheap out on. It's a higher price PDU. It's $180. You can get super duper cheap ones on Amazon. That's what I have now. But like I said, I'm looking to upgrade because it gives me a little more peace of mind to know I'm rolling with a high quality product. Plus, Nerd Gear's active community sort of person, vendor, you know, they're in Discords and chatting with people and things like that. So that speaks volumes, especially to, you know, many people when vendors are active amongst the community. So take from that what you will. If that's important to you, just know that they're here and they're, you know, they're here. That's my rip on the new Nerd Gear's 30 amp V3 PDU. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you already have one of these? Would you get one of these? Again, let me know in the comments below. Use my link to buy one. I get money for it if you do, and I have no shame in it because this thing's super duper cool. If you're not already subscribed to the channel for more content like this, give me a like on this video. Helps the channel grow. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.